Broadcasting from the BLC studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, this is What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz, presented by Sports Radio America. I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe, the man who'd like to give a quick message to all those graduating as part of the class of 2016. It's a trap! Just kidding. Congratulations. You've got a lot of opportunity ahead of you. Make of it what you will. And now, here's the man with the highest WTS GPA here at the BLC studios, the host of What's the Score, Baxter Colburn!
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everybody. I think. No, but for really, though, honestly, everybody, congratulations on your graduation. Last week we celebrated all the wonderful mothers. Now we celebrate you graduates. The world is exciting, and maybe you, too, might end up where Josh and I are right now. One day, if you're lucky.
If you want to play our games, visit our website, WTSSportsQuiz.com, or our social media pages, and fill out the contestant form to play today.
You can find What's the Score on Sports Radio America and on SoundCloud Mondays and Wednesdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern by visiting sportsradioamerica.com and the TuneIn app.
You can also find the show on demand on Spreaker, iTunes, Stitcher, The College Tailgate, Vavel USA, The Sports Quotient, and Rabble.tv, and now on the Sports Podcasting Network.
Time now to meet our wonderful panelist this week. First up, he is the host of Two Up Front Soccer Show on Sports Radio America on Fridays from 2 to 5 Eastern. Please welcome Simon Provan.
Thank you, everyone. So Baxter may have the highest IQ on WTS. I recently found out I have the highest IQ on WTF.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Anyway, holy cow, moving on. All right, next up, he is a member of the Illinois Soccer Hall of Fame, the founding general manager of the Chicago Fire, and now the CEO of Chicago NASL. It is Mr. Peter Wilt.
Thank you, Bax. It's good to be back, and hopefully I can do better than I did last time.
There's no Dan Pfeiffer this week. I like your chances.
You're saying I got a chance.
Just enough. And finally, the editor for SportsJudgeJury.com and an avid Wisconsin sports fan, please welcome Nick Zurich.
Thank you. Glad to be back. Hopefully I can get off this second place schneid.
We'd love to see you do it. You got an interesting grouping of panelists that week that you might have a chance.
Yeah,
I believe in you this week.
I'm intimidated and excited.
Hey, it's a good thing to have.
Well, it's time to get this show on the road with our first contestant game. Joining us on the phone to play Quotable Context is Grant Coppersmith. Welcome to the show, Grant.
All right, Grant, you are going to be playing our first game called Quotable Context. Game Master Scheibe is going to read you 5 quotes from this week's news, and you must correctly identify the context of each quote, answer 3 out of 5 questions correctly, and you will win our prize, a What's the Score t-shirt, or some other various forms of What's the Score paraphernalia. If you do get stuck on a question, Grant, you are allowed to ask one panelist for help, but only on one question, so make sure you choose wisely. Are you ready to play?
I'm ready.
All right, here is your first clue.
I'm back.
That was what NBA superstar after he dropped 40 points in his first game back from an injury this week in the playoffs?
I'm just gonna go. I'm actually gonna use my hint right away because I don't know this one. I'm gonna ask Simon.
Simon, okay, Simon. How can you give Grant a hint on this one?
This player is reminds me of Indian food.
Reminds Simon of Indian food. Does that help you, sir?
Oh, I can't believe I didn't know this one.
I was a little surprised myself. Say it again.
Stephen Curry?
Yes, that is correct. Nicely done. Curry scored 17 points in overtime to help propel the Warriors to a Game 4 victory over the Trailblazers, and they ultimately ended up winning the series as well, 4-1. All right, here is your next quote.
I'm not sure I'm even going to be leaving the hotel room outside of practice.
That was Hope Solo from the U.S. women's national team telling USA Today that she will not leave her hotel while she's down at Rio unless absolutely necessary because of what scary thing happening down in Brazil?
It has something to do with the water?
Yes, to an extent, but it's a disease that's going around. Do you know what the name of that disease is? It's been all over the news recently.
I know it's some disease, but I don't know the name of it.
Okay, yeah, it's the Zika virus is what we were looking for, unfortunately. So,
Okay.
yeah, the Zika virus. Solo, among other members of the U.S. women's national team, are worried about the Zika outbreak in Brazil. Considering the other teams that are going to the Olympics, the U.S. should really just calm down and just get their obvious gold medal and skip the trip altogether.
You know, that surprises me, that answer. I really thought it was that she was afraid that Abby Wambach was the driver for all the players.
Well, she's going to be an analyst
done,
this
Peter.
time. I love it. Woo! Too soon. All right, Grant, here's your next quote.
Coon.
That is the sound of Packer fans, but they will no longer be able to say that after the team announced this week that they are not going to be bringing back what player?
I was not surprised by this move whatsoever. They will not be bringing back John Kuhn.
Yes, that is correct. He's a household name. He's been there for many years, and now John Kuhn, it's what it sounds like, is moving on from the Packers. Kuhn was really the last of the great NFL fullbacks in the NFL. Does he have a home on another NFL team? I don't know. We'll see. But he's a very talented player overall. All right, here's your next quote, Grant.
For him to be that first player to get this unanimously, it just tells you how watered down our league is.
That was Tracy McGrady talking about what player that just earned his second NBA MVP award this week.
I totally disagree with this quote. I think it goes to show the greatness of this player, but it is once again Stephen Curry.
I agree. Yes, that is correct. Curry became the only player in NBA history to win the MVP unanimously, something Shaq, Kobe, LeBron, and even Wilt Chamberlain never had the opportunity to experience, or Peter Wilt, too, maybe. I don't know. He's obviously
Fell a couple
from another
votes
planet.
short.
Fell a couple. He's not a complete unanimous. I understand. All right, here is your final quote, Grant.
Are you coaching now?
That was Greg Popovich during his post-game press conference after what surprising event took place this week?
Didn't the Spurs lose?
They did. They not only did they lose, but what occurred by them losing?
They lost a series.
Yes,
is that correct?
they got knocked out of the playoffs. Yes, that is correct. The Spurs lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder in the Western Conference semifinals. Now the Spurs are out. The questions now surround whether or not Tim Duncan and if he will return for his 20th season. Game Master Scheibe, how did Grant do on our quiz?
Grant got 4 out of 5 correct. He's a winner.
Hey. Thank you so much for playing, Grant.
All right, thanks.
All right. I should also mention that Simon gets an extra point because he gave a successful hint in that game.
Hey, nicely done. Nicely done, Simon. Nicely done.
And now we're heading to our first break, but when we come back, our panelists will have their first crack at showcasing their knowledge of this week's sports news. You're listening to What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz, presented by Sports Radio America.
This is your host of What's the Score, Baxter Colburn.
And I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. On our break, we'd like to take a moment to thank one of our sponsors, Ticket Liquidator. Ticket Liquidator is one of the world's biggest online ticket marketplaces.
When you call Ticket Liquidator, you can find sold-out tickets to the biggest events on the planet. They offer a huge selection of tickets at 15% lower cost than their competitors. Their fantastic call center has live agents available 7 days a week. Call them today at 855-839-7889.
Ticket Liquidator is a multiple award-winning company, including Deloitte's Fast 500's fastest-growing company in Connecticut. Call today and find tickets to the next big game. Call 855-839-7889 to have access to over 4 million tickets to over 83,000 events worldwide. That number again is 855-839-7889. Hey guys, this is Baxter Colburn, host of What's the Score, the sports news quiz. Did you know that you can listen to us on a lot of different platforms now? Yes, you can. Go and check us out on Spreaker.com. You can download our podcast on Stitcher and on the iTunes App Store. You can also find us on thesportsquotient.com and on sportsradioamerica.com as well. Just about anywhere that you can look for great radio programming, you can find What's the Score, the sports news quiz. Go and check us out today and tell your friends.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz, presented by Sports Radio America. I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe. This week, our panelists are Simon Provan, Peter Wilt, and Nick Zurich. And now, here's your host at the BLC Studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Baxter Colburn!
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everybody. I want to take a minute to remind all of you to go check out our website, WTSSportsQuiz.com. And if you ever want to be a contestant, why not shoot us an email, WTSSportsQuiz@gmail.com.
Time now for our panelists to showcase their knowledge about this past week's sports news.
All right, Nick, we'll start with you. ESPN announced this week that announcer Sean McDough will be joining what prime time event starting this fall?
Oh, I might need a hint on this
You
one,
might need a
Baxter.
hint. He is now stepping in after Mike Tirico occupied this spot for many a
yes,
year.
that's right. Monday Night Football.
Yes, that is correct. He will replace Mike Tirico in the booth after he left to go to NBC Sports. He's got a nice resume, though. He's done the World Series, some Final Four games, the Olympics as well, and we'll see. It's a new voice, but he's familiar, but he's new at the same time. So Monday Night Football is very prestigious.
Yeah, different style than Tirico, who I thought did an excellent job, but it'll be fun. Another reason to tune in, I guess.
Exactly.
All right, Simon, the next one's for you.
Uh-oh.
NFL free agent Antonio Cromartie announced some exciting news this week in regards to his children. What was it?
That they're his.
That's one way about it, yes.
I have no idea. Can I get a hint?
He's got a baker's dozen now. He's got more than a baker's dozen? He's
No,
got, I don't know.
that's-
Less
well,
than a baker's dozen.
Less than a baker's
It's-
dozen,
I
yes.
don't know.
So he found out some weren't his?
Also, not wrong.
I don't know.
I feel like we should just give him that one
Yeah.
because of that
Basically
terrible
got it
hint.
right. It was a very bad hit. No, he's got 12 kids now, finally. His wife gave birth to a child 11 and child 12. We'll go with that route. Interestingly enough, though, they each have 2 other kids, but he himself, Antonio, has 8 children from previous relationships.
Okay.
So
All right.
it's a little interesting because you look at it on paper and everybody's like, well, I mean, come on. But he went on Twitter, of course, the only place to make an official announcement for anything nowadays, and said, hey, I am very blessed to have each one of my kids. I know all of them by name. I'm still in good terms with all the women's, blah, blah, blah. Everything that you would want.
Boy, if he and Sean Kemp get together for a family reunion, that'll be confusing.
Nick, I feel like you had something to say.
He came out and said that he knows them all by name because he didn't about 2 years ago. So it was called out, and I think that...
He's been studying.
Yeah, well, and
He's
it's
got
also...
flashcards.
Yeah, right. And he was upset that he couldn't name the twins the same name, I guess, so... To make it
Why?
easier.
Like George Foreman.
That's right.
George, yeah.
All right.
So.
That's why my parents named me Baxter. Never mind.
What is the L for, anyways?
The L?
Does your middle name start
No,
with
it's
an L?
L for my wife,
Oh,
Liz.
of course.
BLC. My middle
Yeah,
name's Quentin.
Ah,
BQC.
BQ.
Yeah, weird, right? I still don't understand. Everyone's like, where'd you get your name? I'm like, my parents' favorite restaurant in college. Which is true. Which is very true. Yeah, exactly. All right, Peter, since we're here with you, we've all dreamed of riding brooms and playing the game of Quidditch before at some point in our lifetime. But some new superfans took to playing the Wizardly game to new heights this week by playing it where?
This is the Q category. We go from Quentin to Quidditch.
Yes.
And I'm going to need a hint on this location.
Hey, Master Scheibe, what can you provide us with a hint for this one?
Oh, let's see. Let's see. They took this one to a different plane.
Yeah. It would be in the air.
Yes.
It would be in the air.
Technically, they played it while skydiving. Yes, that is correct. Nicely done.
Thank you for the help.
The video was posted as a promotion for a Colombian communications company last month. What perhaps is the most surprising part of it is that all these talented skydivers are also diehard Harry Potter fans as well. But it was very interesting, though, because there was 2 guys. They just literally dropped out of the plane with the little hoopy thing. They threw the little ball. I'm very Harry Potter, as you can tell. I don't know. I didn't watch it, okay? Anyway, but it was very cool, though.
The
There's 2
hoopy
teams.
thing.
The
Is
hoopy
that,
thing.
Donald Trump
So they
would
got
call
a
it.
technical term.
No, that's
Ted Cruz, yeah, the
That's
basketball ring. The basketball ring, exactly. But it was actually very well done. Nobody died. I think Gryffindor won, or I don't remember. Anyway.
Well, we're heading to a break, but when we come back, our second contestant will hope to gain some home field advantage. Don't go away. You're listening to What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz, presented by Sports Radio America. the Score would like to take this time to thank one of our partners, Vavel USA, the international online sports newspaper, for their support. Head over to vavel.com/en-US today as they provide professional reporting on all major sports in the USA. Follow them on Twitter at @Vavel_USA and go like their Facebook page for prime access to the ultimate source for sports coverage on the web. We here at What's the Score are proud to partner with a terrific organization like Vavel USA.
Hey guys, this is Baxter, the host of What's the Score, the sports news quiz. Want to take a minute to remind all of you to go and check us out on social media. You can find us on Facebook at What's the Score, the sports news quiz, on Twitter at WTS Sports Quiz, and on Instagram at WTS Sports Quiz as well. And if you enjoy the whole hashtag game, like some of us like to do, hashtag goals, hashtag believer, hashtag, I don't know, I'm running out of hashtags. Anyway, use the hashtag What's the Score on Twitter and Instagram and check out some of the other exclusive content that we do as well. Connecting all of us one smartphone at a time.
Hello all and welcome back to the BLC studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is What's the Score, the sports news quiz presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Josh Scheibe, your game master. We have a great panel for you this week. Peter Wilt, Nick Zurich, and Simon Provan, and they're fighting to gain the edge before the Name 5 panelist showdown. Before that, though, we have a new game called Home Sweet Home, and here's the host of What's the Score, Baxter Colburn.
Thank you, Josh. Coming up, we do put our panelists to the test in our Name 5 panelist showdown, so make sure to stick around for that.
Playing our next game is Dave Kennedy. Welcome to the show, Dave.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good, Dave. We're excited to have you here. So, Dave, as you know, there is nothing greater than returning to one's home stadium after a long road trip in sports. For some teams, their home turf can be a fortress, unless you're the Cleveland Browns or the Detroit Lions.
In this game, we'll give you the name of the stadium, and you must tell us which team calls that place home. Correctly answer at least 5 out of 7 questions, and you'll win a What's the Score prize. As a friendly reminder, you can ask one panelist for a hint on one question, so make sure you use it wisely. Are you ready to play?
Yep, I'm all set.
All right, here's your first question.
All right, which team calls Bryant-Denny Stadium home? Is it A, the University of Alabama, B, Texas A&M, or C, the Jacksonville Jaguars?
A, Alabama.
Yes, that is correct.
All right, which team calls Lucas Oil Stadium home? Is it A, the Florida Gators, B, the Oakland Raiders, or C, the Indianapolis Colts?
C, Colts.
Yes, that is correct. Nicely done. All right, which team calls Miller Park home? Is it A, the Colorado Rockies, B, the Milwaukee Brewers, or C, the St. Louis Cardinals?
B, Brewers.
Yes, that is correct.
Which team calls Anfield home? Is it A, West Ham United, B, Liverpool, or C, Arsenal?
Can you repeat the name of the stadium, please?
Anfield.
Do you want the choices again as well?
Sure, I'll take the choices one more time.
All right. Is it A, West Ham United, B, Liverpool, or C, Arsenal?
I'll go with C.
C, Arsenal? No, that is incorrect. It was B, Liverpool, the great Anfield. Okay. All right, here is your next one. Which team calls Yankee Stadium home? Is it A, New York City FC, B, the New York Mets, or C, the New York Yankees?
C, New York Yankees.
Oh, that is partially true, but also we kind of tricked him a little bit. I mean, it's correct, but one of those two other teams actually shares that stadium with them. Do you know which one it is?
Soccer team?
Yes, that is correct. New York City, yes, that is correct. It was more of a trick than anything to see if you were still paying attention, Dave.
That's like those Heineken commercials, I am soccer. You got to say a soccer team. And
yeah, like,
it covers
absolutely.
it all. That's right.
Soccer, right, okay.
Which team calls Arrowhead Stadium home? Is it A, the Washington Redskins, B, the Kansas City Chiefs, or C, the Cleveland Indians?
B, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes, that is correct. Nicely done. All right, final question. Which team calls Twickenham Stadium home? Is it A, the Scotland lacrosse team, B, the India cricket team, or C, the England rugby team?
I'll go with C.
Yes, that is correct. Nicely done. Didn't need a hint. Didn't need nothing, Game Master Scheibe.
No.
How did Dave do on our quiz?
He knows his stadiums. He got 6 out of 7 correct. He's a winner.
Nicely done, Dave. Congratulations. All right, panel time for some more questions from this last week's news. Simon, this week some fans were watching a Boston Red Sox game, and they were enjoying a nice blowout win against the Oakland Athletics. Nobody cares. That's not what matters. Well, as you might assume, your team they were up by, I think, about 8 runs, and everybody you'd assume would leave. Except that's not what happened. Fans decided to stay and chant what for 4 straight hours?
Boring. No?
No, it was not that.
Can I get a hint?
You
Do I
can.
get a hint?
It centers around the scandal Deflategate. So they were chanting something related to a player from that city.
Brady.
Close. Maybe that's part of it.
Thomas. Boy, I'm horrible
I mean,
at this.
he got Brady, though. I mean, we can give him that, I guess.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, they were chanting Free Tom Brady.
Oh,
Free Tom
sure,
Brady. They did it for 4
that makes
straight
sense.
hours. I mean, you know not to make people in Boston mad. And they were letting Roger Goodell and everybody hear.
So they were letting all their hot air out.
Oh.
Knew that was coming
Love
at
it,
some
actually.
point.
Terrible.
All right, Peter. A recent wheelchair basketball game in Turkey ended abruptly after fans did what?
Oh, my. I need a hint.
You're creative, Josh. Go ahead.
Sure. When you're a jet all the way.
Oh, interesting.
I don't think that would help much, but
Yeah, they rioted.
Yes. I mean, yes, basically, not so many words. Yes, they did. They pulled out knives and baseball bats and started hitting each other during this. A riot. Yes, exactly.
It was the fans that did that?
Yes,
or?
the fans. The guys were still wheeling around, and the
It's a
fans were like,
passionate
screw
sport.
this. And they were, the fan erupted on Saturday afternoon during the championship game. About 60 supporters from the two clubs attacked each other using knives and baseball bats.
It was bad officiating.
No serious injuries. Yeah. I was trying to. Can't think of the guy's name now. Who's the bad ref in MLS that everybody hates now? I can't think of his name now.
Yeah, what is
Mark
his name?
Geiger.
There it is. Maybe
Yes.
Geiger was.
They got Geigered. There you go.
Oh, I like it. All right, Nick, question for you. The Chicago Cubs are playing some very good baseball right now. Now that I just jinxed them by saying that, but they're playing so good baseball at this moment that it caused one Chicago man to do what this past week?
I could take a guess, but I'd rather have a hint before doing that. So
It's a smart move. That's a smart move. Let's just say he probably upset his wife by spending that much money.
I'm going to say place the bet on them to win the World Series.
Yes, that is correct. He bet almost all of his life savings, 94% of his life savings. I'm not going to mention his name in case somebody wants to take him out, but he took out $200,000 because we all have that laying around. And he said, I know it seems crazy, but what am I risking? Really? Okay, I could ask for 6 more years.
$200,000.
The return though is going to be
Pretty basic.
about $560,000 if they do win.
So,
What he continued to say too is like, I'm just mad I didn't do this sooner.
Yeah, $10 on Leicester City would have been a better wager.
Right.
I think they had better odds, and I
had
think
the
because
fever.
of the Leicester City thing, that's why so many people are like, oh, we've got a chance. It's like
Yeah, it's also why casinos will never do it again. At least that high of odds.
that's
So,
true.
Right.
That is true. Keep it under 100.
5,000
I
to
feel
1.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It is
Absolutely
incredible.
incredible.
well, it's time for another break, but don't worry, we'll be right back, and we'll have another round of questions for our panelists. You're listening to What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz, presented by Sports Radio America.
Hey guys, this is Baxter Colburn, host of What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz. If you enjoy listening to What's the Score, why not go and donate to our Patreon account today? That's patreon.com. Search for What's the Score and donate today. You can get awesome t-shirts, before the show shout-outs, and so much more. Tell your friends about us. Hey, if you donate, we'd be happy to give you a shout-out and even have you come on the show and play a game or two with us as well. Hey everyone, this is Baxter Colburn, host of What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz. Want to take a moment to let all of you know that if you enjoy listening to What's the Score, you can find us on thesportsquotient.com. Go and check out thesportsquotient.com. Check out and see how you stack up against the rest of the sports world by taking one of their S quizzes. You can also check out the Fantasy Guru section, and for those of you stat geeks out there, they've got plenty of things for you. Plus, check out all the other great content that they have on their podcast section, like this very show right here, What's the Score?
Two Up Front is the official soccer show of Sports Radio America. Join your host Baxter Colburn and Simon Provan on Fridays at 2 p.m. Eastern as they cover all things American soccer, with weekly guests from the pro, college, and youth ranks, and digging deep into the American professional leagues. Two Up Front gives you the insight you're looking for. Airing Fridays at 2 p.m. Eastern on Sports Radio America. Two Up Front, the world's game from an American perspective.
Welcome back to What's the Score, the sports news quiz presented by Sports Radio America, and thanks for listening in. We're broadcasting from the BLC studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe, and we're playing this week with Nick Zurich, Simon Provan, and Peter Wilt. And here, once again, is your host of What's the Score, Baxter Colburn!
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everybody. I just want to take a quick minute, something we did not do in our first segment. We want to actually extend our condolences to the man that was supposed to be our contestant in game number 1, Russell. He was supposed to be a part of it, but unfortunately his mom got in a car accident this morning and is now at the hospital. And so we just want to send some prayers your way and just hope that your mom makes a speedy recovery as well.
All right. We'll head into the next set of panelist questions here then. Peter, first question's for you. Famous boxer Floyd Mayweather may look to return to the ring sometime soon, but not for a rematch with Manny Pacquiao. Instead, he's looking to take on what notable UFC fighter?
It's Pacquiao, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
It's fine. I'm sure that's going to skew Peter's thought, though.
Clearly.
Conor McGregor.
Yes, that is correct. Nicely done. It's interesting, too, if Mayweather indeed does do this. It's the rumors right now. He said he would not do it for anything under $100 million.
Neither would I.
Absolutely, yes. He's because it's interesting too because he recently filed for trademark on something to do with like his 50th fight. So people are like maybe he's coming out of retirement, maybe he's going on. And Conor McGregor released some like mocked up poster too, but nobody really knows what's going to happen. All we know is it's going to be an insane payday. Because if they really did fight, McGregor would destroy him. So it might just be one of those, hey, $100 million, we're done. Have a good night. It's like, all right, just a little bump the box gloves. Anyway, Nick, question for you. We've all heard of a switch hitter in baseball. Well, this week, a notable celebrity might be doing her own version of switch hitting after she failed to find love in her current state. Who is that? I'm a very bad person.
Gonna need a hint for safety precautions here.
Former Olympian.
Would that be Caitlyn going back to Bruce?
Yes, that
Jenner?
is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Oh, okay.
The big controversy is not the fact that she's switching back. Whatever, that's she does what she wants.
The name change, right?
The big thing though is that if those of you remember, ESPN gave Caitlyn Jenner the ESPY for Courage last year and got an exclusive interview with Diane Sawyer on ABC and da-da-da-da-da. So if she does switch back, that's basically a big old slap in the face to ESPN saying, oh, I had so much courage. Not anymore. Now I just want to go back because I couldn't find love. So the networks more so are just kind of like, what? But we did all this. I mean, she does what she wants. She's a Jenner and a Kardashian and whatever. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know what you make of that, honestly.
Did Vegas have odds on that happening? That's what I
5,001 to 1 odds. Yes.
Yeah, if you have to ask, I'm sure they did.
Exactly.
Well, we probably ought to move on. Simon! Athletes have very strict diets, especially ones like Serena Williams. Well, before she played in the Italian Open final, she decided to eat a bit of what?
I should really follow more sports than as much as I do soccer, but I know the answer to this one. What I forgot to feed my pets this morning. Dog food.
Yes, that is correct. She ate some of her dog's food. Williams was playing in the Italian Open, and her hotel had prepared a very special menu for her Yorkshire Terrier. And they gave her some salmon and rice. And she's like, wow, this looks really good. And she took a Snapchat of it, of course. And she says, hey, I ate a spoonful, don't judge me. And then she spent the next several hours in the bathroom just throwing up. And she was like, it was the worst ever. I don't know why you would do that. I mean, I understand. I've seen dog food and been like, oh, look, dog food. But I'm not going to ever be like, I'm really hungry. Especially when she makes millions of dollars a year and could have probably had anything catered to her room when she decided to eat her dog's own food. Hashtag life decisions. I don't know. Anyway, she still won the Italian Open, though. That's the big part.
That was my question. How did she perform?
She won in 3 sets. She actually, the first 2 sets, I think she won 7-6 and 7-5. So she got pushed, and then she blew the last person out 6-1. So she won. She was fine. It worked.
So her bite is worse than her bark.
Oh. Nicely done.
All right. Well, folks, it's time for me to break up the fun once again. But when we come back, our final contestant will have a chance to appraise some sports memorabilia. Don't go away. This is What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz, presented by Sports Radio America.
Hey everyone, this is Baxter. Just want to take a minute to thank one of our sponsors of What's the Score, Sports Radio America. Go and check out sportsradioamerica.com today and find all the greatest shows that you and your friends should be listening to if you're not already. Listen to the College Credit Hour, Sunday Gridiron, Major League Diamond, 2 Up Front, and What's the Score. You can find What's the Score on sportsradioamerica.com and on the TuneIn app by listening to them on Mondays and Wednesdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Sports Radio America, one of the official sponsors of What's the Score. Hey everyone, this is Baxter Colburn, host of What's the Score, the sports news quiz.
And I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe.
If you think you are smart enough, or smarter than a 5th grader, and want to play our games on air, you can either come by the studio or you can call us, but there's a few different ways you can get a hold of us.
If you'd like to email us, you can do so at WTSSportsQuiz@gmail.com.
Or for you social media savants, head over to Facebook, What's the Score, the sports news quiz, or Twitter, WTS Sports Quiz. Now back to the action with myself and Josh Scheibe.
Welcome back, everyone. This is What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz, presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Josh Scheibe, your game master. Our Name 5 panelist showdown is coming up, but first we have a new game called The Price is... not a new game, a game we played before just once, back in episode 13, called The Price is Certainly Not Right. Here to get the game going is your host at the BLC studios here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's Baxter Colburn!
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everybody. Just a quick reminder that you can check us out on social media on Facebook by going to WTS Sports Quiz on Twitter, and on Facebook, What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz, and on Instagram as well at WTS Sports Quiz as well.
Time now to welcome in our next contestant. Playing our final game is William Walters. Welcome to the show, William.
Good afternoon, guys. Pleasure to join you. How are we?
Doing well, William. All right, for anybody that has ever been on eBay, you may or may not know, it's a good site to find all kinds of random things, especially sports memorabilia. However, there are some pretty crazy items that are going for even crazier prices. We've sifted through the very depths of eBay to find out which products are going to make buyers either take out a loan or sell their firstborn son with some of these things that they have for sale.
As you may know, we've called this game The Price is Certainly Not Right. We've played it before. And in this game, we'll give you 2 sports memorabilia items. You must tell us which one costs more. Correctly identify which item is going for the higher price 3 out of 5 times, and you will win our prize, What's the Score prize pack. If you get stuck on a question, you are allowed to ask one panelist for help on only one question, so make sure you choose wisely. Are you ready to play?
Sounds good.
All right, here we go. Here's question number 1. What is worth more? Is it A, signed Bo Jackson jersey, or B, a signed full-size Joe Flacco helmet?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I would I'm an older school sports fan. I would dare say the Bo Jackson jersey would cost more.
No, that is incorrect, actually.
Wow.
The Joe Flacco helmet is currently going for $209, while the Bo Jackson jersey is going for $175. Here's your next one.
Wow.
I know, right?
Well, actually, what you have to do is combine Bo Jackson's football jersey with the baseball jersey, and then
that
you get,
together
yes.
is worth more. I mean, Joe Flacco, anything, I feel like the value goes down. Same with like Tony Romo.
All right, here's your next one. What is worth more? Is it A, a Yao Ming signed trading card, or B, a Ray Nitschke signed index card?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the second option again?
Sure. A Ray Nitschke signed index card.
Played for the Green Bay Packers, very notable. He is no longer, unfortunately, with us.
Whew, that's a tough one. Obviously, if someone from the Asian continents is selling it, it's probably going to be the Yao Ming jersey. I tell you what, I'm going to use my poll the panel here.
Okay, would you like to talk to Nick, Simon, or Peter?
Well, let's go with Simon.
All right, Simon, what can you do to help out William?
Go with your gut.
Okay.
Very right to the point. I like it.
I'll go with the Yao Ming.
Yes, that is correct. Nicely done. All right, William, what is worth more? Is it a 1969 Super Bowl ticket or an Alex Rodriguez game-used bat?
Is the game-used hat also on steroids?
This is pre-steroids. It was a corked bat, though.
I would say, boy, 69 was a big Super Bowl. If not for that, football may look different today. I would say the 69 Super Bowl tickets.
That is incorrect. No.
Wow.
The Rodriguez bat is currently going for $985, and the ticket is going for $649. All right, here is your next one.
Which one is worth more? Is it A, a signed Kobe Bryant game-worn jersey from his rookie year, or B, a Nolan Ryan game-worn Houston Astros jersey?
Wow.
It's one of those rainbow puke Houston Astro jerseys, too. If that helps you at all.
All right. I will say I'm leaning Kobe. I'll say the Kobe.
Yes. Yep, that is correct. Nicely done.
I'm glad to see that the Kobe Bryant game-worn jersey from his rookie year is at least 10 times more expensive than the bag of air that they took from the game in the Staples Center that he played in. So.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, the Kobe Bryant jersey is currently going for $12,500. The Nolan Ryan game-worn jersey is going for $4,200. All right, here is your last question. What is worth more? Is it A, Scott Cooper signed 8x10 picture, or B, a Joe Torre signed 8x10 picture?
That's tough. I'm going to go with Joe Torre.
Yes, that is correct. Nicely done. A very slim margin between the two. The Scott Cooper picture goes for a balmy $5. Joe Torre's signed picture goes for $7.50. Game Master Scheibe, how did William do on our game?
William got 3 out of 5 correct. He's a winner!
Hey, nicely done, William. Thank you so much for playing.
Awesome.
All right. I should also note that Simon gets an additional point because he gave a successful hint in that game.
I need all the points I can.
Well done, Simon. Well done.
All right. The moment you've all been waiting for is almost here. Stick around and listen to our panelists duke it out on the Name 5 Panelist Showdown coming up right after the break. You're listening to What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz presented by Sports Radio America. Hello all, I'm Josh Scheibe, your game master here at What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz. Thanks for listening in. I may not know much about sports, but what I do know about are our social media pages. Check us out on Facebook at What's the Score, or Twitter and Instagram at WTS Sports Quiz. Thanks very much for listening.
Hey everyone, this is Baxter. Do you enjoy taking a sports news quiz? Well, I understand, of course, you like What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz, but we encourage you to go check out one of our other sponsors, thesportsquotient.com. Go and check out the Sports Quotient and play one of their S-quizzes. You can test your sports knowledge about anything doing with sports, and even check out the great articles and content they have on their website as well. Thesportsquotient.com. That's quotient with a Q. Sportsquotient.com, and check out What's the Score on their network of podcasts as well.
Hi everyone, I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe.
And I'm your host, Baxter Colburn.
Hey, if you think the show is worth at least $1, why don't you go to our Patreon account?
We'd be very grateful if you donate to the show. That's how people like Josh and I stay employed, or pretend to be employed at least. Thank you so much for listening to What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz. And now, back to more sports trivia action.
Hope my check's in the mail.
Bacon.
Hello and welcome back. Thanks for listening to What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz, presented by Sports Radio America. I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe. Our panelists are warming up for their final showdown while they prepare to rack their brains. Here's your host at the BLC Studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Baxter Coleman.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everybody. We've had a fantastic show so far. Just a reminder, next week is our final show before we go on break for a couple weeks. We have an exciting panel next week. We've got Don Wadowitz, Paul Junio, and the great Fifini. Dan Pfeiffer will all be here. Tune in. You can catch it live, 2:30 Central Time on Spreaker.com. Game Master Scheibe, I believe it is time for something rather exciting, wouldn't you say?
It is. It's time for our Name 5 Panelist Showdown.
All right, time for our Name 5 Panelist Showdown. We've had a very good show so far. Why don't you explain the rules for us, Game Master Scheibe?
All right, our panelists will be given 4 topics in which they will have 10 seconds to name 5 people, teams, places, or things related to the sports world. Each panelist will have the same category. However, they cannot repeat answers. 1 point is awarded for each correct answer.
Game Master Scheibe, can you give us the scores, please?
I can. Peter and Nick are tied at 3 points, and Simon is in the lead with 5.
Whoa!
I don't know how that happened.
You don't either. It's all right. Josh is keeping score. I don't know. All right, Nick, we will start with you, then Peter, then Simon in our round number 1. Round number 1, you'll be naming 5 athletic brands. Athletic brands? Naming 5, okay?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to just be the common ones as well. There are many out there. So we made a list of about 100, I think. So we've got quite a big thing to go off of.
Wow, okay.
10 seconds on the clock, and begin.
Nike, Reebok, Adidas, New Balance, and Under Armour.
There you go. He got 5. Nicely done. Well done. We applaud the fivers here on the show. All right, Peter, you are up next. 10 seconds, and begin.
Man. Diadora, Lotto, Puma.
Yes.
Kappa.
Yeah. Sigma. Alpha.
I'm guessing Keds is not one of them.
Keds. Yeah, Keds is one. Yeah, absolutely. Right. Nicely done. You got 5. All right, Simon, it is your turn. 10 seconds, and begin.
Warrior, Umbro, Admiral, one with a U. What the heck is it? Not Umbro. I already said that.
Yes, you did.
That's all I got.
Okay, well, you got 3. Not too bad, not too bad. All right. All right, round number 2. We will start with you, Simon. You're going to be naming 5 current NFL quarterbacks. Current NFL quarterbacks. 10 seconds. Begin.
Aaron Rodgers, Joe Flacco, Tom Brady, Tony Romo. It's always that 5th one. That gets you. Something Smith. Alex Smith.
Yes. Yeah. Look at that. Nicely done. All right, Peter, you are up next. 10 seconds and begin.
Scott Tolzien.
Oh.
Cam Newton.
Yes.
Has Tom Brady been mentioned?
Yes. Ooh, only got 2 on that one. All right, Nick, what can you do with 10 seconds? And begin.
Teddy Bridgewater, Jay Cutler, Matt Stafford,
like the NFC
Ryan
North.
Tannehill, and Ryan Fitzpatrick.
There you go. Says it like, if I got
I wasn't sure if I had 4 or 5.
No, you had. Yep, that was 5. Nicely done. All right, round number 3, starting with you, Mr. Wilt. We'll be naming 5 Major League Baseball teams. Naming 5 Major League Baseball teams. 10 seconds and begin.
Chicago White Sox, Chicago Cubs, Milwaukee Brewers, New York Yankees, New York Mets.
There you go. The easy ones. I like it. Nicely done. You don't even need the timer this game. Everyone's just boom, boom, boom. All right, Nick, you are up next. 10 seconds and begin.
Cincinnati Reds, Pittsburgh Pirates, Miami Marlins, Atlanta Braves, Houston Astros.
There you go. We got all 5. Nicely done. Nicely done. All right, Mr. Provan, are you ready, sir?
Yes.
10 seconds, begin.
Cleveland Indians, San Francisco Giants, LA Dodgers. The Texans are what is that? the Dallas Texans. No, Texas Rangers.
There it is.
And I had to cross the Astros off.
You got 4. All right, nicely done. Going into our final round, Game Master Scheibe, can you give us the scores?
Peter has 15 points, Simon has 17, and Nick is in the lead with 18.
All right. Very nice. And for those of you that listened last week, you know that we made an amendment to our final round. Our panelists will have 10 seconds to name as many of this final category. So it gives other people an opportunity to maybe steal back the lead. So with 10 seconds on the clock, we will be starting with Peter. 10 seconds. You'll be naming as many professional teams with green in their color scheme. All right? 10 seconds. Begin.
Oakland A's, Portland Timbers, Seattle Sounders, Green Bay Packers. Green.
Ooh, he got 4. All right, he got 4. So now in second place is Simon. Simon, you need 2 to tie Peter, 3 or more to take the lead. 10 seconds and begin.
Old one, Tampa Bay Mutiny.
There you go.
Leon out of Mexico.
Sure. You need 1 more to at least take the lead.
Colorado. Oh, no, their Rapids aren't green anymore.
No. Oh, so he tied. That's interesting. We'll have to come back to that later depending on what Nick does. Because now, Nick, what does Nick need, Game Master Scheibe?
Nick needs 1 to tie and 2 to win.
All right. Are you ready, Nick?
Yep.
10 seconds. Begin.
Seattle Seahawks, New York Jets. He said Seattle
Sounders. Different, yep.
Or Miami Dolphins.
Sure. That's 3. Anything else? 2
No.
seconds? Hanging out?
Don't want to look dumb.
There you go. All right. Game Master Scheibe. Before we get to our final, we know Nick has won, but we need to break a tiebreaker between Simon and Peter.
We do indeed.
So the way it works here is we will do the exact same format, but you're going to be naming as many teams as you can of the NFL teams. Yes, Nick?
I thought you had a good tie-breaking question to start the day with the backup goalies in the MLS that played in Scotland.
That were drafted 4th round.
Drafted
higher.
4th round. Okay, yeah.
Yes. So we will start with Simon. Simon, 10 seconds to name as many NFL teams as you can in 10 seconds. Sound good?
Sure.
And begin.
Green Bay Packers, Chicago Bears, Indianapolis Colts, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, San Francisco 49ers, Houston Texans, Minnesota Vikings, New York Jets, New York Giants.
He got 8. He did not get that last one. All right, so Peter, you need at least 9. You cannot tie, Simon. You got to get at least 9. Are you ready? And begin.
Cleveland Browns, Cincinnati Bengals, Buffalo Bills, New York Giants, Baltimore Ravens, Washington Redskins, Jacksonville Jaguars, Miami Dolphins, and the Tampa Bay.
We're tied again.
That's up to you if you want to take the
I said Tampa Bay.
Oh, that's right. He did. So interesting.
Well,
because
let Peter go
said,
first this time, though.
Well, we've used 16 teams, so technically, I mean, if you guys know the other teams that we haven't used. It's up to you. Why don't we do it this way? Since you guys are both soccer guys, name as many MLS players as you can in 10 seconds.
Can we just have a draw? They have draws.
We're not going to do a draw. No, we don't. You each don't get a point. That's not how we're going to do it. We're going to break this tiebreaker. We're going to go all soccer-y on everybody here. All right, Peter, you will start since Simon since last time.
I'm excited for this.
Name 10 current MLS players. All right, and begin.
Sean Johnson, Matt Lamson, Alex, David Akam, Kennedy Igwebuike, Harrison Ship.
All right, he got 6. 6 in 10 seconds. Simon, you need to beat 6. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And begin.
McMath, Beasley, Valeri, Nat Borchers, Widgerall, Dayron Asprilla, Jermaine Jones, Azira.
You got that last one as
0.
well. All
Yeah.
right. I do believe Simon has won our second place here, so nicely done, Simon.
It's Peter. It's only because I play MLS fantasy. That's the I was just thinking of my lineup.
I play MLS Real, and I didn't beat you.
He created MLS.
Good point.
All right, well, the final scores don't necessarily matter, Game Master Scheibe, just because we had a tiebreaker. But what did Nick end up with? Because that is the score we do.
Nick
care
was the
about.
winner with 21 points.
Nicely done, Nick. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Nick, we'll start with you as our little wrap-up here. You finally got a victory. Is this your first one or your second
my
victory?
Second victory,
Second
first
victory?
since my first time, my
Oh,
inaugural
that's
presence
right.
on the show.
Many a
so.
show. Well, you've become more of a staple on the show now, Nick. We love when you're here. What did you think about being on these?
Yeah, the feeling's mutual. Thank you for having me, as always.
You're always welcome.
The knowledge and the I call them dad jokes because I'm a father myself, and Baxter will be soon. But I
Absolutely.
really find the appreciation in those, and God, that was awesome.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it. Simon, great to have you here on the panel. Your second time. You were at our live event back at Crossway Church. Nice to see you here. I see you on a weekly basis because we do a show together as well, but it's interesting being in this format with you. But what did you think about today's show?
Yeah, it was fun. It's my second time on the show and my second time taking second place. So there's this repeated theme going on.
The new
but
Mitch
no.
Baumhoff, maybe? Interesting.
Very fun
Interesting.
being here, so thanks for having me.
You are welcome. And Mr. Wilt, always a pleasure having you here, sir. You felt fairly confident coming in today, too. No Dan Pfeiffer, and
You know, I'm regressing. I went from second place last time to third place.
You can only go up
I'm
now.
afraid I'm going to be relegated.
You're almost like the Chicago Fire, though. You have nowhere to go but up, though, after this season.
But if you make it a 4-person panel next time, I could go down.
We'll just keep adding a panelist every week. All right. Well, What's the Score has been a production of Sports Radio America. Thank you to our contestants and studio audience here at the BLC studios. Our panelists this week have been Nick Zurich, Simon Provan, and Peter Wilt. Our social media staff is comprised of Emily Reister and Brittany Peterson. Our theme was composed by Danny Hoffenstein. Our media producer is Eric Condia. Our sound engineer and show producer is Kurt Colburn. And the executive director of What's the Score is my wife, Liz Colburn.
I've been your game master, Josh Scheibe.
And I've been your host, Baxter Colburn. Thanks so much for listening in. We'll see you all next week, 2:30 Central Time, live on Spreaker. You've been listening to What's the Score?